I was naive as everyone starting the business, and I think like people that they want the best for you, but they don't. And especially they don't when it comes to money. So in a not very nice way, she decided to get rid of me when I was on holiday, giving me phone call, and I was like, oh, okay, I can deal with that. I employed lots of people that they were not good for the business. That was unexpected, and that was actually massive. Set me back thousands, hundreds of thousands. There's a different stigma attached to be a woman, housewife, and when you become this business person and then roles at home, they do change. Not everyone can handle that.
What advice would you give someone opening a clinic in 2025?
Don't do it.
Welcome back to The Patient is Always Right. Today we're joined by Dr. Magdalena Bejma, medical doctor, aesthetic practitioner and founder of Bespoke Medical Clinic in Leeds. In this episode, we dive into the realities of running a clinic, the pressures, the patient demands and the emotional toll it can take. We also talk about why, despite endless new trends, filler still reigns supreme, and why longevity treatments belong firmly in the hands of qualified medical professionals. Dr. Bejma doesn't do fluff. Her approach is calm, clinical, and fiercely protective of her patient safety. And she's got a lot to say about it today. Let's dive in. Welcome to The Patient is Always Right.
Hello.
We've got Dr. Magda here with us today, which is very exciting. And we're going to cover so many things. But we're going to kick off with a quick fire round just to get us warmed up. So just answer with your first initial thoughts.
Okay.
So if you could only do one thing for the rest of your career, training or treating, which would it be?
Treating.
Ah, okay, nice. Full creative freedom or unlimited cash flow?
Oh my God, I'm this stage of life, unlimited cash flow.
I love it. Yeah, fair. So 10,000 5-star reviews or 100,000 cash injection into your business?
Oh my God, people think I'm materialistic. Cash?
Yes. To be fair, I would have said cash for both of these two.
I was thinking what they want to hear versus what I'm actually...
No, be honest. Yeah. So final one, you've got two choices. You can launch a passion project, so anything you want on a shoestring budget, or rescue a sinking business with unlimited funds. Which challenge would you take?
The first one, building up.
Nice.
Yeah, fresh.
Yeah. You get that creativity. Perfect. Well, that wasn't too painful. I love your answers. So first things first, we're going to do some warm-up questions to get basically people to get to know you a little bit and a little bit about your background. So when people ask what you do, how do you describe it?
I probably would say I make people age beautifully and also like inject lots of confidence in them. I'm really focused on like medical side and science behind. So I sort of try to blend this to help people like biohack their health and beauty as well.
Oh, nice. I love that. And you've been in aesthetics for over a decade. Do you still get that buzz when you walk into a clinic?
Absolutely every day. I just so much passion. I love my job. So yeah, massive buzz.
Oh, I love that. And what's the biggest myth people think about the aesthetic industry?
I mean, it's probably that, first of all, people think like it's an easy business to run and like it's so much money that like, you know, you load it, you can open clinic and then boom, you're like multimillionaire or something. It's not like that.
Yeah, a lot of graft has to go into
Oh my God, yeah.
Yeah, no, I love that you said that. And we're going to dive into basically your personal journey. So I know there's a lot to cover, which is, I mean, this is the thing, and this is what I love about this podcast. It's the place where you can just be honest about your experience, open, and people want to hear it, right? So you've been really open about your journey so far. You've spoken about divorce, insolvency, jealous business partners. So in your own words, can you tell us about your journey so far and how you got to where you are today?
So I'm just going to maybe start from the beginning. It's a really funny story. So how I signed for the course, for the very, very first course in aesthetics, my friend, she really wanted to do aesthetics, but she was like, there is no way I'm going to go on a training on my own. And then I was just like so passionate about GP, like, you know, saving lives and everything. You know, you name it, I was like, I wanted to do it, just help. In the end, it happened that she chickened up. I signed, and because I paid, you know, these trainings are not cheap. So then she rang me in the morning, I'm not going, it's not for me, I don't think I want to. Then I was like, okay, I paid it, I'm going to do it. And then I absolutely loved it. I always been, even in GP or like my A&E jobs, anything really hands-on. So I enjoy the procedures. And so I started as everyone doing my GP. So my background is GP. I qualify in this country. So I just started this more like a side hustle to have a bit of like a spending money, you know, so I can time to time buy a new handbag or something. And then as passion was growing and then number of patients, so I moved sort of like 50-50 GP, 50% of my aesthetic clinic. And then, yes, straight after pandemic, like I decided that's it. And it was partially as well because I got really frustrated with NHS, how the system is right now. I just feel we cannot provide quality care to the patients. And as, especially after pandemic, and that's carry on now, the quality of care, and even if you want to do something for a patient, you have no sources. And I was ending up saying to the patient, is there any chance you could have, I don't know, privately found blood test or private MRI? Because if I refer you on NHS, it's going to be 2 years waiting. So I think I probably got a bit of clash with the why I expected to, like being a GP is versus what it was. And then on the other hand, I had this job, fully set up business with lots of like rewarding patients being happy. So the energy of that sort of drove me to this as well. So yeah.
Amazing. So when you started your sort of aesthetic side hustle, was that in a clinic or was it from home? How did you get started with that?
So I started with that, just rented the room. And it, as everyone, just like once a month, started with one Saturday a month and gradually built up. That was time when there was not really Facebook or Instagram too much. I think in Facebook was there, not really Instagram. And then, yeah, used to just grow by the word of mouth and was getting more and more demand. Then I had that second Saturday. Then my kids and family got upset. Mama is not home on Saturday. So I was like, okay, I'm going to drop some of the NHS work. And it sort of started to go like this.
Wow.
Yeah, with the job.
So naturally it started to lean more towards the aesthetics. That's really interesting. So when was the moment where you were like, I'm going to pack up NHS fully and go into aesthetics?
That was a really difficult decision because, you know, I think everyone working in NHS is your safety blanket, you know. No matter what, you're off sick, you're going to get pregnant or something, you get paid. But, you know, when you've got business, you'd only earn money if you are working. So it took me a really long time. I remember doing like 2 days a month as a GP. And then, as simply as I mentioned before, I was just getting more and more frustrated with the system. And then I was thinking like, okay, I'm just going to do it and see. If not, I can always go back to NHS because it's always there for me. So I think like 2020, just straight after pandemic.
That was the moment where you thought, yeah, I'm going to go for it.
Yeah.
So you started out on your own. How long did you stay on your own before it grew into a business, if you like, with multiple people?
So I would say probably good sort of 5 years before I was in a position of like go for something on my own. Like I felt like the demand is so high and like there was demand for devices, demand for skin treatment. So I needed people to work for me as well. So it's probably good 5 years.
Wow, okay. So you've talked about obviously starting your business from sort of a single practitioner to having a clinic. And you mentioned to me when we were chatting about your background, you restarted your business 3 times. Obviously there's a story behind that and there's a journey. So if we sort of start back a little bit, how did that happen, basically? How did you get to that point?
I think as everyone, not everyone, but I can be naive. I mean, I was naive as everyone starting the business. And I think like, I believe people that they want the best for you, but they don't. And especially they don't when it comes to money. So my very first reality check was with I actually joined someone's already existing business, and that person, for some reason, I joined, and suddenly also her patients started to want to book with me. So I was really growing, and her booking were going down. So in a not very nice way, she decided to get rid of me when I was on holiday, giving me phone call, and I was like, oh, okay, I can deal with that. So that was first really like bit of reality check, you know. One thing I can say about myself, I'm really damn good injector, so my results are excellent. And I don't think it's bad if we are business partner, like one is better than the other. It's different in like skills. So I don't know. So that really hurt and sort of put me back. Okay, fine, let's do it again. Everything was going really well. Built up to the massive clinic, like nice. About 9 rooms. We were subletting the space, 2 floors, beautiful clinic in middle of Yorkshire, luxury finish. And then obviously I was a business partner of my husband, as every accountant will advise you, it's really good to do these things from the HM revenue perspective. You never really presume you might divorce that person at some point.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was unexpected, and that was actually massive fall, set me back thousands, hundreds of thousands. Very, very lengthy divorce. And now I'm starting third time.
Well done.
Just on my own, from the scratch. I've got a partner, and sort of he's like really supporting my journey. But it's difficult with the trust after all of that. And as a business person, in the meantime, I also employed lots of people that they were not good for the business. People stealing from me, people really bad apples, I would say that.
It's really hard, isn't it?
It's very hard.
I hear this story so many times about, the team, the staff, and finding out they to your face, they love you, they support you, but behind your back, they're doing all sorts of things.
I mean, the current people I employ, they're absolutely lovely, so it's nothing about you guys. But it is, the easiest sample, you cannot trust your husband. So,
yeah, I mean, if
ex-husband, yeah. So think about, for the rest of the people, it's going to be just a job always. When this is your baby, you put so much blood and sweat into business. Because what people see is this nice, beautiful clinic. They don't see the time you come back home and then you go onto your phone and it's work. I'm not there watching reels or enjoying or shopping. I do shop sometimes, but most of the time it's like inquiries, emails, and everything. So for other people, it's more or less 9 to 5.
And do you think, and I hear that a lot, do you think that has an impact on relationships?
It does, and it definitely did with my marriage as well.
Because I think sometimes it depends on the person, right? But I do hear that actually when you come home and you're on your phone and you're answering inquiries, it almost actually stems jealousy.
Yeah.
Because they can see the successes at home because you're having to take it home because you're so busy.
It is.
And it's difficult.
And especially because I'm a woman as well. So there's a different stigma attached to be a woman, housewife, mother. And when you become this business person and then roles at home, they do change. Not everyone can handle that. So it is quite difficult. So I always say it's lovely when 2 of you have got passion and like businesses, and then rather than, I don't want to say jealousy is a wrong word, but it's, I don't know, they might just feel like you almost don't have time for them. Like they have to compete with your job, where very often you actually have to you want to come home, put the Netflix on and do nothing, but you cannot do that.
Yeah, and obviously it makes sense because you were running a business, but was there ever that same feeling within sort of NHS when you're a GP? Because I know that can also be quite demanding.
No, more or less, unless there was a particular patient on a day I saw and I was worried. I was clocking out 6 p.m. and I was fine till next day.
Wow.
So other than that, no. Running business is definitely more of 24/7. And holiday, I work most of the time when I'm on holiday. I dedicate time for it. Because there are often queries that your reception, your PA, they're not able to reply, and you have to step in, or complications. If you inject vast volume of patients, there will always be complication. If people say they have no complication, they just don't inject enough. So now when I compare this job to my NHS job, when I was on holiday with my NHS job, I actually had holiday.
Fair. And I guess that was something you probably didn't see coming to the extent. Right. Okay, and we'll get into some sort of like reflections and things like that because I'm sure
You're gonna make me quit the business by the
No,
end and go
definitely
back
not.
to NHS.
If anything, it's going to be like, wow, I did all this because it's amazing.
Yeah.
Just we've only just started, and I'm already in awe of you. Like just hearing what you've done and the fact that you've not given up, you've kept going, and you're restarting. That's a testament to you. Not many people would do that. A lot of people would just throw in the towel, and be like, well, I tried, and then move on and go back to their NHS job. The fact that you've been like, nope. This is what I love. I'm passionate. I'm going to make it work.
It is. This is what genuinely keeps me going.
No, I love that. So, which chapter? I mean, I feel like we're going to talk about more chapters, but which chapter out of the journey up to where you are now in your business has taught you the most, and why?
Oh my God, I'm going to have another court case. It's the divorce. It's divorce. It just really, it just came from nowhere. The things that happened, backstabbing almost. Something that I totally did not expect, because I always was expecting, like, as an adult, you're supposed to communicate, and especially if you have kids, just talk about problem. Yeah, so I think sadly it's going to be divorce.
Yeah, and I guess divorce is almost, especially when you run a business, it is part of that journey, isn't it? Whereas for a lot of people, if you've got a sort of 9 to 5, your divorce is your personal life. But for you, especially obviously having him part of the business as well, it just complicates things on new levels.
It does, and especially with the social media, that sort of complicates on multiple level as well. And because it's personal as well. Like, okay, if you have bad employee, that's different, okay? They're not really someone you have feelings towards. So I think that's the hardest chapter I went through. Yeah,
I don't blame you. It sounds really like a tough time, like a tough
Very
time
tough
because it's
time.
home and work. That's the bit that it's like there's no escape almost, right?
Yeah, and then you have to just keep going, still smiling for the Instagram, and then smiling for your kids, and God knows what is in the background.
Yeah, well done for doing it. Like, keep going. It's incredible, honestly.
Yeah.
So you said when we were chatting that success can be lonely, which I thought was really interesting. What did you mean by that?
It's lonely. It's very lonely because people don't have the same values as you do, and more successful you are, more busy you are, you don't have much time for your friends. And it doesn't mean that you don't care about them, you don't love them, but you don't have that much time to be there for them. You might be missing certain events, you're gonna miss obviously parties, things like that. And it's not that you don't care about that person. So I think it's really important that you communicate with your really close friends about it. But it is a very lonely place, even as we discuss about marriage, because you attach almost to your phone, not for the reason of reels or fun, is your job. So you almost all the time there, constantly working, grinding in the background, because you know what next step is for your business or something. And lots of people, your friends or family, very often don't get that.
Yeah, that's actually a really interesting point because your work, like your phone is an extension of your work. Yeah, and that's something I think even I can relate to. It's quite hard to explain that. Actually, no, I'm working, or even if I'm looking at a reel, I'm actually thinking, oh, that would be great for me or my business or whatever it might be.
Because I work on phone, like all the transfers, anything that I can edit, like, even Word document, everything is on my phone. I hardly work on a laptop. So I always try to explain, especially my kids, it's not that I'm doing what you guys doing, playing Roblox or something. I actually work.
Yeah, no, that's really interesting. So true. So if you could go back and redo something, so we're going to spin this and make this positive, redo something that you may have seen as a pivotal moment in your personal life or career, what would it be?
Accelerate my career a bit sooner, leave NHS sooner.
Oh, that's
because I was scared of this leaving the safety blanket.
And when you say that, is that more a case of like starting the side hustle earlier, or literally like putting your full energy into it?
Full energy into this and go on to things like recording videos, because I was quiet. I was always declining any offers of filming. Now, obviously, if anyone follows me, they know I do TikToks, and I don't do TikToks, sorry, Reels and everything. But it takes really long time for you sort of to develop the confidence in front of the camera. And like, especially that like my background, I'm not British, so I always hate my voice. Then I overthink the way I talk. Is my grammar correct? Is my accent correct? And can people understand me? There's so much going on. So I was always, rather than fully put like, pedal down and just make like my career really flow, I think I was slowing down. No, I'm not gonna do this now. No, I'm fine. No, I'm booked. I don't need this. Like, no, don't wanna do any conferences. Don't wanna speak in front of like, I don't know, 100 or 1,000 people. Like, probably a bit of imposter syndrome somehow as well.
So you were kind of limiting yourself almost. Yeah, that's really interesting.
It is like that.
And now, we'll get into it because I've got loads of questions around your personal brand, but now that's become such a identity for you.
It is, but it has to click, and you have to just like, okay, fine, I can do it.
Yeah, love that. Well, we're going to find out when that moment was later on. So you're a KOL for multiple brands. What do you wish more practitioners understood about choosing the right brand?
So I think you absolutely has to love the product or device, simply because other people look up to you. And for me, I cannot sell something. I cannot be face of the brand if I don't believe 100% in the product.
And I'm sure you do, get a lot of brands and manufacturers approaching you?
Oh, absolutely. Asking me to switch the brands I am KOL for. And I love the brand. It doesn't matter if you're going to give me like more money or more free product or something. I'm not interested. I have to genuinely love the product. And I think if everyone was like that in the industry, there would be so much more honesty about products and treatments when there's lots of products and treatments that they just don't work.
So how do you go about finding a new treatment to introduce to your clinic? Is it just you go out to sort of the conferences or people come to you? What's the common way of finding those new treatments?
So I usually try conferences as well. I follow certain accounts that I sort of value for the treatments they do. I value their opinion, and let's say if they introduce something new brand, new skincare, new device, I will inquire. And what we do more or less always is I will try treatment myself. I will get family or friends trying as well, and then get some feedback on it. Because I did it the other way around. When rep were coming, oh my God, this is the best device. You can remove like white hair, or you can get rid of all the pigmentation, you can treat melasma. They are there to sell the product, and they're probably with this brand for 6 months, and then in 6 months they're gonna be with a different brand. You have to try the treatment. And not if it's not for you, get family or friends trying and get the honest feedback.
That's really good advice. I like that. Thank you. So how has the role of aesthetic doctor changed over the last 10 years? Obviously, lots of things have come in, new devices, new treatments, but what would you say is the biggest change?
So I agree with what you said. There is so much on the market right now that almost turned completely. Before, when I started 10 years ago, we were just doing botulinum toxin and fillers. Next, and same, filler. There was nothing like, I even remember I was probably injecting for about 4 years when Profilo came. And I'm like, wow, first sort of like skin booster. But now it's the other way around. There is so much, I would say, if you've got the right vision for your clinic or what you stand behind, what you want to achieve for your patient, you almost more able to provide like holistic care, because it's not only about now fillers and botulinum toxin, it's all about more of the skin quality, general like health. We look into now, testing bloods, doing markers for longevity.
Is that the future of aesthetics?
It is the future of the aesthetics, I think. And there will be more, as I mentioned, more and more treatments, injections, like other more vitamin shots, peptide shots. You've got now NAD and everything. But all around this also, that create this gray area when we need to check the quality of the product, okay? Because, you can buy, let's say, NAD from one brand and it's like 300 and you can buy for 50. If we're moving into injecting something into bloodstream or into your body, you need to check the quality. So I think we're also going to enter very exciting era, but very unsafe for the patient. And we will witness more and more of complication, systemic complication, where I mean patients being unwell because they had something that either wasn't pure enough or the ingredients were not really checked properly. So it's a bit of scary. So I think it's more important for the general public to take care and choose even more wisely, because it's not limited now only to your face. It's now your body, internal organs, it's everything now.
That's a really good point. And obviously it's quite topical because there's been the introduction of the prescriber now having to meet the person face to face. Do you think that's something that should be introduced for sort of more longevity treatments? Yeah.
Absolutely. And I think things like buy and do it at home, that scares me. That absolutely scares me, because you don't know. And very often people might not be able to afford premium product, but then just think twice before you inject something. Like, even with the weight loss jabs, there are illegal jabs. People are ending in ICU because of that. So really, really, you need to be more, the public needs to be aware more about bigger complication, and there's actually just even a risk to the life.
Yeah, it's so true. And I think because it's in the clue is in the name, regenerative medicine, it should be done by a medical practitioner, in my opinion. And I think that's something that maybe, like you said, will become more and more of an issue as time goes on. I think at the moment, from what I've seen, sort of more I say less medical practitioners are trying it, maybe because of that. That's a good thing. But I think it's definitely something that can be amazing in the right hands.
Exactly. Have you not seen the ads when you can just buy and inject yourself at home with NAD, peptides and everything? And there is an interesting website I came across. When there's lovely vials, it's all medical, but then when you scroll on the vials or when you go to the disclaimer, it's not for the human use.
Wow. And they're just there selling it. And people were buying it because no one reads the small
The
print.
vial is like £45.
Wow. Okay. Yeah.
It's scary. It's a really scary time.
That is scary. I mean, amazing that you've actually flagged that to me, because it's something you even, I mean, I would only personally go to a medical practitioner for pretty much anything, to be fair. I'm very picky, but that's because I've had some
You want to live longer.
Yeah, I want to live longer, and I've had some questionable experiences. So I'm just like, you know what, if I'm going to invest my money, I'm going to invest it very wisely and do my research. But that is something I've not even thought about.
Yes, it scares me.
So jumping to sort of running a clinic, because I feel like there's so much I want to cover with you. So starting positive, what's the best thing about running your own clinic?
I get the most rewards when I'm seeing the same patient coming back to see me and trusting me. So I love that. I love how I can make patients feel about themselves. I love good banter with my reception, with my staff. And I suppose, I know I said it's 24/7 job, but you can have freedom if you're very well organized. So I love that as well, the freedom. Okay, that's it. I actually want to go on holiday. So you can do that as well.
That's really nice. And I've seen on your socials, your team are a big part of your account, actually, which is really nice.
I push them.
I love how normally it's the other way around, and now it's like, no, you have to be on there. I love that.
This is really funny, because the receptionist, Elisa, she came on the day one, just to shadowing. And I was like, you're recording? And she was like, no, yes, you're going to be on a reel. Because it was day one we were recording. She was like, I don't want to. You're recording. And she did so well. So
I love that. No, it's really good. And I love that you showcase your team. I think that's really important. And we're going to get into some tips and advice from you, because obviously you're a very big personal brand, but also you manage to incorporate your team really well in that, which is quite hard to do. So I've got some questions around that a bit later. But one of the other things I wanted to ask, well, what would you say are some of the day-to-day challenges of running a clinic? I know there's probably a few, because it's not easy, but something that springs to mind that you could share with the people listening.
It's the worst, and quite difficult, is just being a boss, because you love these people you work with. And when it comes to sometimes executing things, it can be difficult, or if things go wrong, and when you have to do things and talk to people like, why this happened, we discussed this. So, being a proper boss is difficult, and I'm not very good at these things, because I hate upsetting people. So that, and there's always challenges, financial challenges, things breaking down, heating not working. It's like everything, flooding, name it, went through it, no electricity, and nobody knows who you're coming in, there's no electricity. It's like, what? Your booking system doesn't work because they decided to do massive update overnight. Nothing works. You don't know who is even coming to see you for what. everything. There's so many challenges behind the scene.
So this is quite a big one, but what advice would you give someone opening a clinic in 2025?
Don't do it. Don't do it. First of all, make sure you've got enough client base, okay? If you have no demand, if you're not booked up for about at least 2-3 weeks ahead, I think investing money in a beautiful premises is a waste of money. Don't offer too many discounts.
That's a really good one.
Yeah, because then you cannot get out of the discounts.
You need to keep your
So,
value and your worth.
So, but yeah, and I think now it's far more difficult to open clinic or build up brand than when I started.
Fair enough. Why do you think that is? What do you think is the reason?
Market is very saturated, and with the social media, everyone can come across as they great, or can give you the false feel of being in demand, being super busy, when they really not. When before it was more of the word of mouth, and like more of the organic grow. And I think it's the social media made it far more difficult.
Interesting. And that's actually a good point that you mentioned about as a client picking the right place. What advice would you give to a client when they're looking for their clinic that they're going to be going to?
You mean location-wise?
No,
or
just
just
as
to
in,
rent the room?
Yeah, more like as a customer coming in, what would you give them advice on, like which practitioner to go to or which clinic to go to? What should they look for?
So I would definitely first of all make sure that they're medical, okay? Obviously, if they want to have an injectable medical procedures, then go to the medical person. And then book consultation, and I would say just see what feel you have. If you have feel that the practitioner is sort of pushy, selling, upselling, I'm never like that. I always try to discover what the concerns are, things like that. So get the feel. Don't get pushed into treatments because X and Y influencer had something, then I'm gonna go to that clinic. I always say good start is and get your vibes from the consultation, then decide if you are going with the treatment or not.
That's a good point. And I think a lot of people skip the consultation because they see their favourite influencer doing a treatment. They're just going to book it and think it's right for them.
And just make sure, so what we really put lots of attention in our clinic, which is like obviously luxury brand and everything, but is how we make patients feel like even they're spending £50 on a skincare or spending £2,000 for a treatment, we sort of like the same. We give them feeling of being valued and like we really appreciate that they came. We never rush things, never rush consultation, always make sure that, reception is very welcoming and genuine appreciation that they chose our clinic. If you just feel they're like, oh, I came, nobody even say hello. Someone said like, oh, you want Botox? Come on, sit, inject. I don't think it should be like that.
No, absolutely not.
Yeah, so get the consultation and see what the vibes are and then decide.
Absolutely. So you're very big on natural beauty. In fact, you said enhancing natural beauty is something that's your skill set. What does natural beauty mean to you now? Because obviously I think it's shifted a little bit from maybe what it meant 10 years ago to what it means now.
I think it's more about the harmony of like, your facial features, but also harmony of how you feel with that and the confidence and that glow you get from it. Because it's not just about me, changing your cheeks, chin, your nose. That all has to go with the way you are, because I can give you more of the most beautiful faces, but there won't be any glow and confidence. I've seen this so many times.
Yeah, it's true, actually. And I think that's something really interesting where you actually said glow first before the outcome, if you like. Yeah.
Because sometimes it could be very small thing. Very often I have patients coming and they just feel better after chatting and we don't do the treatment. So I know it's a bit of like a counseling I do. I have a few patients with the body dysmorphia. So they always come for consultation and I make them feel better. So I think it's all of that. So for me, it's this, it's just like the harmony of how you look, how you feel, and you glow.
I love that. That's really nice. So let's talk about feminine wellness, because you mentioned that earlier as well, and something you're very passionate about. What makes you so passionate about female wellness?
Because I don't think we talk about this enough. As a female, we never talk like, oh, you had a baby. Is everything okay there? I can't remember any of my friends asking me like this. And, me having 2 kids, things are changing. And also me coming as a background of the NHS background, when I did like reproductive medicine in NHS, doing coils, etc., it's, I think we don't want to say we're almost silent, but let's say men complain about erectile dysfunction. Women never complain that they cannot have orgasm or something, or is there something that can be done? So it's big discrepancies between women's wellness and male.
I've spoken to quite a few NHS doctors who have moved into aesthetics, and actually female wellness being one of the reasons why, because they felt on the NHS there wasn't enough to help them.
Nothing. You print out the leaflet with the Kegel exercises, pelvic floor exercises. Have that. Try it. Remember, I remember my midwife, you're pregnant now, you have to exercise your pelvic floor. So the best way to this, when you stop at the red light, squeeze your pelvic floor. That was the advice.
Wow.
The only advice. And I remember a midwife not even checking if I'm okay or if I'm having any issues with urine incontinence, etc. Nobody ever was interested.
Wow. So it's almost like aesthetics actually open the door to be able to treat more of these issues. Yeah. And that's I keep hearing that all the time. That actually people are able to privately go to an aesthetic clinic and find more treatment that will help them than going to their GP or even a hospital, or even going private in general to a GP. There's still not that much there, whereas aesthetics has opened the door.
Absolutely.
So what sort of treatments do you do in clinic that assist that area of concern?
So we do certain treatments that are purely aesthetics, which is the Zerial, that is a filler specifically designed for women's wellness. So we use that as we age, as you're losing volume on your face. This exactly happened to your bits down there, to the feminine area. So that is a very nice way to hydrate and also to sort of give women more confidence as they're aging, that the private area looks really well as well. And there are purely more medical treatments when we do for urinary incontinence. So I do treatments like Formavi, that is radiofrequency, and it's a magic wand. Just insert, and because it's a radiofrequency, it will help to stimulate blood flow, collagen, elastin there as well. So almost it's tightening up the pelvic floor. So it's really good for the urinary incontinence. We have polynucleotides, which is regenerative medicine, can be injected if there's an issue with the vaginal dryness. So there's loads now.
Wow, that's really exciting. And this is sort of like kind of the start almost. I feel like there's going to be even more treatment.
More and more. And I love that we as a woman sort of stopped accepting the fact, oh my God, I had a baby. That's it, my sex life is over. We started to do something about it.
Yeah, absolutely. So what's one thing that your patients say to you that you love hearing?
You make me feel like myself again. I know.
That's a good one.
That's the best, when they're coming back for a review, or very often they just send a card, and very long cards sometimes, how I made them feel and how much they appreciate what I did for them. And this is really weird because going back to the NHS, I saved people's lives, working in A&E, in GP, I send people to the hospital with the heart attack and things like that. But there's a very little appreciation. And then on the other spectrum, you have patient that is paying you X and Y and appreciate you so much for like bringing back this glow and feeling like themselves again. I think that gives me the biggest buzz when it comes to my job.
It makes sense. And I do feel like it's so powerful because, I can relate to it maybe more than I could have previously. I had a baby and put on loads of weight and lost myself. Like literally that's the saying, isn't it? You lose yourself.
You do.
Even though you don't know what you're losing, it just yourself, your confidence. And I feel like aesthetics gives you that same feeling when you can just look in the mirror and feel like yourself.
Exactly. You look, you glow, and you're like, oh my God, I got this. Like, I can do anything. Like, I'm ready. Like, I'm going to smash next interview, like job interview. I love that.
Yeah, no, I love that. That's really great. So what's your favourite treatment to offer in clinic, or can you pick one?
Okay. Can't pick one. But if I have to narrow, I mean, as I mentioned, I'm obsessed about regenerative medicine and everything. But I love old good filler. Because, back in days, like, 10 years ago, this is what we were doing day and night. So, and as I said, I'm really good at it. So I love like a full face tweakments, beautification, tiny, like very subtle filler then and there. And it just getting the more of the beauty out.
And I do think that filler has become even more of an art now than it used to be,
art,
because, like you said, it's the tweakments, it's the tiny changes that just make that difference.
Tiny. It's a game of shadows, and you have to pick someone that really is good at art, can see, because it's not really, you can say like points, inject there, draw the line. That doesn't work. I know this is how the basic training is, drawing the lines and everything. Injecting filler across the face, full face treatment with filler is art. It is art.
Absolutely. And I love seeing on Instagram at the moment, there's like this real trend of doctors doing before and afters and saying, can you like spot the difference? Because actually you can see they're different, but you can't say it's that and that. It's really interesting.
And that's how it should be, like spot the difference, because overall you look and person looks fresher, glowing, but you don't know why. It's not about saying, oh, she had cheeks, oh, she had lips. No, it's the overall harmony.
Harmony, yes, exactly. Love that. And you've been really vocal about personal brand being important. So I wanted to ask you a few questions around that and any advice that you could give people on sort of building a personal brand. So your personal brand is really powerful, and I think it's quite clear when you go onto your Instagram or your website. It's very like, we can see who you are. What did it take to get to that point?
It takes a lot. And thanks for saying that the brand is strong. It took me many years, and it's quite difficult. I always wanted to have this recognized brand, and that attached to myself, which probably we're gonna cover later. You get trapped in a brand as well.
Yeah, I mean,
be careful what you wish for.
That is one of my questions. Like we can follow straight on to that then. So tell me about that. How do you, trapped is an interesting word. What made you say trapped out of all the words you could have used?
I mean, from the business point of view, I wouldn't say like, personally or something, but it's more of the business point of view, because you build up, you promote yourself, you do certain things, to grow. And I think that was one of bit of mistakes I did initially. Rather than focusing me as a brand, personal brand, probably splitting more of the time with the clinic as a brand, because the word trapped is like, I had lovely injectors working for me, like very talented. I would let them inject my face, but their diary was free and I was booked up like weeks in advance. So it's really difficult once you build up everyone to come and see you, then to get other people booked up as well.
So how have you, I guess, because it's still probably an ongoing thing where people want to come and see you, but how do you support your team in kind of them taking some of these new faces instead of them coming to you?
So you have to start limiting your availabilities a bit more. One of the other options is like you could always increase the price for your treatments, which I love my patients too much, and I don't do that because I think, they've been loyal for me for 10 years. Why would I suddenly, because they want to see me, increase price? Okay. I think that's mean. So I don't do that, but I know other practitioners do, because that's the other way. For some reason, they obviously unable to afford you. And I think it's just, I usually do like, you probably noticed on my Instagram, I employed new nurse. She's lovely, Nurse Ashley. So I do massive push, like on my Instagram, and almost do this, what I call transfer of trust. When I show her doing treatment, because I will let her treat my face. Yeah. Because she's great. Technically, she's great. Before I let anyone to work at the clinic, we have this months when they're practicing to the level that I happy. Wow. That I let them then do treatment on me as well. And then, so this is almost this transfer of the trust. And then later, energy, I cannot do anything about that. They have to love the person.
The transfer of trust is really interesting. Actually, it's something that I talk about all the time with...
Do you?
Yeah, with content, because I always say your team are they should be your EGC, so employee generated content. If a client walks in and sees the receptionist having the latest treatment, she's going to trust that more than just selling it because you said it was good. Like using it on your team, using your team as advocates is the most powerful thing to get new clients.
And if whenever they try the treatment, know the downtime and everything, it's much easier for them to sell. And if they love the treatment, then even better.
Yeah, no, I love that. That's great. So obviously you're great on Instagram, as I've mentioned a few times. So let's talk about visibility versus scalability. So you've got a strong Instagram presence. How does your personal brand impact your day-to-day business? Does it help actually bring in bookings, or is it more a case of awareness?
So at the moment, I think it still helps to bring bookings, because especially, you know, where I come from, Yorkshire, it's quite well recognized brand. So everyone is like probably chatting, I don't know, reformer class. Oh yeah, go to Dr. Bejma. So something like that. So it's definitely so that much easier in terms of, you know, when the name is the draw, isn't it? Like straight go, yeah, she's good, and she, like, you know, she's fun. You're gonna have a good time as well, and that's sort of like. But then when it comes to scaling your business, then that's the different story, isn't it?
Yeah, that's I think the bit that's the hardest is like a lot of people do it the other way around. They show up on Instagram or TikTok or whatever it might be, and they've got a lot of presence, but it doesn't relate to bookings.
Mine does. Whenever I will say like, oh, the glow is from the radies or from polynucleotides, booking for that goes up.
Amazing.
I think that is in a connection for what I mentioned before, trust, because they know I would not have anything that doesn't work.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, the trust from the patients.
And I think that's the thing that a lot of people forget with social media. You can build trust and authority on social media that it translates to bookings instead of just following trends.
That's
so much more important. And it's something that a lot of people won't do is think about the other side. Yet training on how to do treatment or how to speak to clients, fine, but actually how to translate that through social media is so important.
It is. But on the other hand, it's like you invest so much, and that happened to me before. You invest everything what you have in a person, and 6 months and they leave you. That hurts as well.
I bet
and
that
cost
hurts.
as well. So, but you have to have balance, because by the end of the day, I don't want to do everything for them. And I think what helps as well from a business owner point of view, having them on a split, on a percentage, because if you put people on a salary, my honest opinion, people get a bit lazy. But then if it's commission based or if it's like split, they're driven because they know, oh, I can actually earn more if I want to.
Yeah, that's actually a really good tactic, and actually very big in beauty. So that was where I started, and that's almost like a given. You very rarely go in or you go on a base salary, but you can make more by selling or upselling treatments, cross-selling. So it's something that aesthetics doesn't do often. So it's interesting that you actually take that approach.
And I always put actually in a contract as well that they have to have a social media presence.
I love that.
I mean, you do, because like, how am I going to promote someone if nobody ever even seen someone's face?
And that's the future. That's the reality. Like I know a lot of people.
In their contract.
A lot of people hate it and the thought that, you know, social media is so important, but that is your shop window now.
Yeah.
They're an advocate for the treatment and the clinic.
Exactly.
Yeah, absolutely. Love that. Never heard that either, and
Really?
I love it. That's a genius idea.
Yes.
That's great. So do you think the future of aesthetics is founder-led or brand-led?
I think it's going to still be brand, because no matter, this is what we discussed before, you might have the most beautiful clinic in the most stunning, you know, Knightsbridge location, luxury, everything, you know, beautiful. If you don't have the brand, no following, I don't think you're gonna be busy. And or having the most expensive devices. No, you need brand. You need maybe not even brand, but like have the trust in the public that they actually good. But that usually comes with the brand.
Exactly, yeah. It's all about brand trust, building a brand and making it, like you said, which is so interesting because you are your brand, but then your brand lives without you as well, which is very hard to do.
I'm trying to make this more alive without me. It's going, I'm there, the brand, but it's so hard.
Definitely. Okay, well, like I feel like we've covered so much. And as you know, we do have a section which we call the confessional, where we ask you for a crazy patient story. It can be crazy, can be funny, can be just a little bit out there. Obviously, no names, but we will ask you to give us the tea. So a lovely story that will make people think, wow, okay, this is the reality of aesthetics.
It is a reality of aesthetics. I had patients that just walked away without paying. But it was really weird. That was the times when I just used to just like rent the room, like had no reception. And I'm the most chilled person when it comes to charging people. I trust people. I used to, a lot less now, obviously. But still, I always try to believe people are genuinely good. But then, yeah, they backstab you, but it's fine. So I remember that this lady, early 30s, she came for a lip treatment, lip filler. She brought me like chocolate, Ferrero Rocher. Like, oh, I watch your Instagram, you always like Ferrero Rocher. And then like, you know, the chat was flowing. She was, oh, you have, like, she really followed me for like, you know, a fan, like my fan, you know. I was thinking like, that's just a bit too much. She was like, oh, I know you have 3 cats. I'm like, oh, okay, fine. Yeah, but I was like, yeah, things went well. And like, so went to the payment, and then that was the time when I had to take the payments because I had no reception. And then she was, we not had Apple Pay, so she was like putting the card and wrong pin. So ended twice, wrong pin. I was like, oh, if I do a third time, I'm gonna get like blocked. And she was like, oh, there's a HSBC, because I still remember that she was HSBC bank. So if I get it wrong, I'm just gonna like unblock it at the, obviously, the branch. And I was like, oh yeah, it's 5 minutes. Yeah, you go. Never seen the patient again. Then tried to call the number she left. The number didn't really exist. The address, when I Googled, didn't exist. Probably wasn't her name. Then I really learned something funny from that, because you know how you've got these aesthetic groups. So I posted her picture just to warn people, like if she comes to your clinic, this might happen. Apparently, I was told I have to take it quickly down, because then I can be reported to the police for her, like, you know, that I'm accusing her for something. And I'm like, okay, I deleted the picture and everything. I reported briefly to police, but I don't know her name. The picture, the where I was renting, they did not have the CCTV. There was really no evidence that, except the picture she actually had the treatment, because I did just the before pictures, not after.
That is crazy. So she basically knew.
I think she planned that.
Yeah, that
She
sounds
planned
like it.
She was like, I was like, okay. I don't know if it's funny, but I learned something from that.
Yeah.
Like,
and not going to happen again.
no, it's not gonna never happen.
No.
Never happened since.
Wow.
You know?
Well, that's good at least. That's so funny. Well, it's honestly been great having you. I've got a few more questions.
Yeah.
And then I'll let you go. Has there ever been a situation where you've bought a device and just regretted it?
Oh, 3 times.
Really?
3 times.
Devices aren't cheap, but I guess that's the testament to the quality as well, isn't it? It's like a catch-22.
Exactly. But I think sometimes your patients, they don't have clue that devices you have, they above 100K.
They have no idea.
They have no idea. They think, oh, probably it's like 10K device. No. So, yeah.
Yeah, I think there needs to be more talk around the cost of devices. And I think in the UK, we're terrible at talking about the cost of things anyway. It's very taboo. But I think the more we talk about it, the more that people will appreciate the investment that you've put in for them.
Exactly.
Yeah,
you know?
absolutely.
So I always say, pick that. So this is why I advise, like, on this group chat as well, when people say, like, oh, I really love that device, but I can't afford, shall I buy this one? I said, no, because you're going to regret, and you're still going to buy the one you want.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Love that. That's great. What do you think that people remember about you the most?
Just some silly things came to my head. That's why I'm laughing. I'm going to say this. I think it's probably how I made them feel. And also about like my high standard, how I raise the standards, not only in the industry, but also in terms of like empowering women to believe in themselves. Yeah, and I think like the overall feel they have after consultation and treatment with me, I think my patient is what they remember most.
And as we always have to ask at the end of the show, is the patient always right?
Interesting story that happened to me when I went for operation, when I wanted X and Y, and that person was like, no, this is gonna look better on you. I said like, no, but this is why I want this more age appropriate. It comes about that chat about the breast surgery. You need to listen to your patient, what they want. And if they keep saying to you, oh, I want 0.3 in lips, I mean, explain to them, because for them might be just even enough. Because very often what I hear, what they love about me and my clinic, first it is how everyone, as second they step in, how everyone makes them feel. But it's also that I always listen and I don't push and I don't upsell. So I think it's that, listening to your patient.
Yeah, putting the patient's needs first.
Patient is always right. No, not always right, okay? Because now everyone that I say no to, they feel like on a book. You're not right, okay?
So tell everyone watching or listening where they can find you and your clinic and a little bit about your socials and your handles and all that kind of thing.
Okay, so my clinic is located in Leeds, in Yorkshire. A very beautiful area, Randay. There is a beautiful park next to it. I mainly do cosmetic injectables, a bit of biohacking of your skin. We have lots of nice cutting edge devices. So we do have Cyton, we do Morpheus 8, we have hydrofacial, just really top treatments, all the best for my patients. So my Instagram is @Dr. Bejma and the clinic is @Bespoke Medical Clinic. Please follow the clinic, don't follow me. I want to get out of the personal brand.
I love that. Yes, no, definitely. And we will add that all in so people can follow both if they like. But yes, no, that's great. Thank you so much for coming on.
I enjoyed that.
Yeah,
really
did you have
that.
fun?
I had lots of fun.
Oh, brilliant. No, it's been great. And honestly, your story is inspirational, but just so interesting. So thank you for taking the time.
I hope people will find it interesting as well.
I think they will.
You know?
I think the edit's going to be the hardest part because there's so much that you covered and I think we'll want to keep most of it in. So thank you so much.
Oh, you're very welcome. My pleasure.
Love hearing the real stories behind the aesthetics, medical and dental industries? Make sure you follow us on Instagram and TikTok at The Patient Is Always Right for exclusive content. You can listen on Spotify, Apple Podcasts or wherever you get your podcasts. And don't forget to watch the full episodes on YouTube. Hit follow, subscribe and stay tuned.